1962, Oregon, USA. A young man named Phil Knight has just graduated from Stanford. He is smart, shy, and totally lost. He wrote a paper in college with a theory. Japanese cameras replaced German cameras in the American market. Could Japanese running shoes do the same to German running shoes? At the time, Adidas and Puma, both German, ruled the world. They were expensive and heavy. Phil believed there was a gap, but he had no money, no experience, and no company. He just had what he called the crazy idea. Instead of getting a job, Phil borrowed money from his father and bought a ticket to Japan. He traveled to the city of Kobe, walking into the headquarters of Onitsuka Tiger, the makers of the best Japanese running shoes. The Great Lie. Phil Knight, 24 years old, sits in a conference room with serious Japanese executives. He is terrified. They ask him, "Who do you represent, Mr. Knight?" Phil freezes. He doesn't represent anyone. He is just a tourist. But in a moment of panic, or genius, he lies. He remembers the ribbons he won running track. "I represent Blue Ribbon Sports," he says confidently. "We want to be your exclusive distributor in America." The executives buy it. They sign a deal. Phil walks out of that meeting shaking. He has just become the CEO of a company that doesn't exist. He rushes home to his parents' basement, waiting for the shoe samples to arrive. When they finally do, he doesn't sell them in a store. He drives his green Plymouth Valiant to track meets and sells them out of the trunk of his car. Blue Ribbon Sports was alive, but Phil needed a partner. The mad scientist. Enter Bill Bowerman. Bowerman wasn't just a track coach at the University of Oregon. He was a legend. He was obsessed with speed. He would do anything to make his runners faster. He would tear apart shoes, melt rubber, and experiment with strange materials. When Phil showed him the Japanese shoes, Tigers, he didn't just want to buy a pair, he wanted to be a partner. They shook hands. Phil brought the business mind. Bowerman brought the product genius. Bowerman's experiments were dangerous. He inhaled toxic fumes. He ruined his kitchen. One Sunday morning, while his wife was at church, he was looking at the waffle iron in the kitchen. He wondered, what if the sole of a shoe was shaped like a waffle? Would it grip the track better? He poured liquid urethane rubber into his wife's waffle iron. He forgot to spray it with non-stick oil. The waffle iron was destroyed, but the rubber molded perfectly. The waffle sole was born. It was lighter and had better traction than anything on the market. It was a revolution.
The betrayal. Business was booming. Blue Ribbon Sports was selling thousands of Onitsuka Tigers. But success attracts sharks. In 1971, Onitsuka sent an executive named Kitami to visit Phil in America. Kitami was cold and arrogant. He looked at Phil's operation and wasn't impressed. He delivered an ultimatum. Sell your company to us, or we will cut off your supply and destroy you. Phil realized the truth. He was just a middleman. He had built the market for Onitsuka, and now they were going to steal it from him. He had a choice: give up and work for the Japanese, or fight back. Phil chose to fight. He secretly started looking for new factories. He decided to launch his own brand. He would break away from Onitsuka Tiger. But he had a huge problem. He had 24 hours to come up with a name and a logo for his new shoe, or he would miss the manufacturing deadline. The $35 logo. Phil needed a logo, something that suggested motion. he hired a graphic design student named Carolyn Davidson. She sketched a few ideas. Phil didn't love any of them. He pointed to a curved checkmark shape. He said, "I don't love it, but maybe it will grow on me." He paid her $35 for it. That was the Swoosh. Now, the name. Phil wanted to call the company Dimension 6. His employees hated it. They thought it sounded like a bad sci-fi movie. Jeff Johnson, Phil's first employee, went to sleep that night stressed out. In his dream, a name appeared to him. It was the name of the Greek winged goddess of victory. He woke up and called Phil immediately. He said, "We should call it Nike." Phil hesitated. Nike! It sounds weird. But they were out of time. They typed Nike on the telex machine and sent it to the factory. Just do it. The split with Onitsuka was messy. There were lawsuits. There were spies. Even the banks froze Phil's accounts, almost bankrupting him. He was millions of dollars in debt, living on the edge of disaster every single day. But the waffle trainer, the shoe with the Bowerman waffle sole, saved them. It was a sensation. Runners loved it. Nike went public in 1980. Phil Knight, the shy kid who sold shoes from his car trunk, became one of the richest men on earth. And Carolyn Davidson, the student who designed the logo for $35, years later, Phil gave her a diamond swoosh ring and Nike stock worth millions. Today, Nike is not just a shoe. It is a symbol of victory. It is a reminder that the biggest empires can start with a lie, a waffle iron, and a crazy idea. So whatever your crazy idea is, don't overthink it. Just do it.